Chris Petri here. Welcome everybody. Come on in. Let's have some fun here. We're going to do some beginners, extreme beginners, watercolors, drawing, painting. The first thing we want to talk about is, have you started your sketchbook? Have you gotten yourself a sketchbook? And are you working every day doing 10 or 15 minutes every day of drawing? You have to have that. You have to do that. So I'm just here. I'm going to do one of these videos every once in a while, maybe once a week or maybe once a month. I'm going to do these videos here and just do a little quick, hey, are you guys doing your drawing? Please do your drawings. 5-10 minutes every day is going to go a long way. And once you do 5 to 10 minutes every day of watercolor, drawing and sketching, after 6 to 8 weeks, you'll have it down. You'll do it all the time. You won't even think about it. You'll just be grabbing your sketchbook as you go throughout your day and getting your 10 or 15 minutes in every day of your drawing and your sketching. And it doesn't matter if you draw stick figures. You could start off doing stick figures. That's fine. Do some stick figures. Do stick figures 10 to 15 minutes every day. That's fine. Anything you can do to draw and practice your skills as a watercolor artist. And watercolor artists, we all have to learn how to draw first. This way we can actually render what we want to paint first with a pencil sketch or a pen or some ink, whatever it is. So let's do that. Let's make sure we're doing that. So are you doing that? Please, please, please do your sketching. So here we're going to open up our sketchbook and we're going to say, okay, it's a fresh, brand new week. What are we going to do? Well, the first day of the week, let's do something simple. Let's do a paintbrush. So here we have a paintbrush, a watercolor brush. Let me draw this paintbrush here. It could be your paintbrush that you have in your watercolor set. Take your watercolor paintbrush, set it on a table across from you. It might be easier if you set it on a piece of white paper. It's easier to kind of isolate your paintbrush if you set it on a piece of white paper. So you might take a piece of printer paper and put it on top of the printer paper, set it across from you, and then you say, okay, I'm going to, for day one, Monday, I'm going to draw my watercolor paintbrush. Let's try it out. Let's see. So I look at it here and I say, okay, here's my paintbrush. It's about from here to here. That's the total length of it. I'm going to try to fill my paper up here. So if I have my paper here like this, my rectangle, this is my rectangle I'm working in. Let's fill up that whole rectangle with subject matter. So if I'm going to do my paintbrush, let me use the whole rectangle to get my paintbrush in. So I'll use my paintbrush. My paintbrush will start over here. Maybe it'll end up over here. Fine. Okay, so if my brushes and hairs over here on my paintbrush, then maybe the metal ferrule is over here. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to do my ferrule first. That's the metal part of my paintbrush. I'm going to do this. There we go. Then I'm going to do my wood handle, which is like so. And I'm just going to go down like this. And I'm going to go up like that. Bam! Look at that, right? It's not perfect, but it's a paintbrush, right? It looks pretty good. And then we'll do our hairs of our brush. There it is. Perfect. Look at that. There you go. Your first day, for 5 minutes, you've practiced and you've got in your paintbrush. Now, you can do a little more work to this. We can do a little more work to this. We can say, all right, let's add a little bit of shading. So let's look at the brush across from me and I say, all right, yeah, I see that. There's a little bit of shadow under here, like so, like a darker shadow, and there's a little shadow up above on this here, like so, on this metal part of the brush, the ferrule. And look at that. And there's a little bit of bright, really bright light across here. So let me leave that there, that bright light, like that. Okay. Then this part of the brush is a little bit darker. It's some brownish color hairs. Let's color that in a little bit. And then here I'm looking at the handle of the brush. It's got an orange tip on it like that. And then it has like a strip of bright light across it, because the way the light is striking it, it's got like a bright bit of light across the top like that. And the rest of it's black. So let's color this in black. Let's take our pen and color it in. Have a great time. Look at this. There you go. Have some fun with this. Enjoy it. It's your drawing, your 5 or 10 minutes a day of drawing. You want to just fire in there. Do a drawing once a day. That's all you have to do. And look at that. So I color in the black paint that's on the handle of the brush. It's a black handled brush. It's got a little bit of light going across the brush where the light is hitting the black, shiny black paint, and it makes a little bit of a strip of light. So I'm leaving a strip of light down the center of the brush. There's a little strip of light here on the metal part of the ferrule of the brush. And then here is the hairs of the brush. And then maybe we have a little bit of shadow underneath it. You can add a little bit of shadow like that. Maybe you have a pencil. Maybe you can carry a pencil with you too, a pen and a pencil. And then you just do a shadow underneath it like that. And then you can do a shadow underneath it with a pencil. Just like that. So you can have a pen and a pencil with you, and you try to capture the shadow underneath it. If it's sitting on top of a table, you're going to see a shadow underneath the brush like so. This is an orange tip, so that's not quite white paper. That's like an orange, which is a little bit of a color on there like so. And then you can see you have a beautiful 5 to 10 minute sketch that you do for your sketch for the day. And then you might just say, you know, paintbrush. Paintbrush, and you might say, you know, it's 10/22/21. You put the date on there, and you maybe sign your name. You sign your name on it. And there you have it. That's your first sketch. You do this 10/22. Then the next day, you're going to start out again. You're going to have another fresh piece of paper, and you're going to say, okay, well, now it's day 2. What am I going to draw day 2? I got to keep drawing once a day, maybe 5-10 minutes a day. That's all you have to do. Please do, you know, you purchase your sketchbook, and if you don't have a sketchbook and you don't want to go out and buy a sketchbook, you don't want to really invest too much money in a sketchbook, hey, just grab a piece of printer paper, some simple printer paper, and just do the same thing. Grab a piece of paper once a day and draw something on your piece of paper, your printer paper, some office printer paper, and then you put it into a folder and you just save it and say, this is Monday. Maybe put the day on it, the date, the time, sign your name, put it in the folder. Next day you pick up another piece of paper and you're going to do the same thing here. So okay, if you have your sketchbook, you're going to do your sketchbook like this. You put your frame around your sketchbook here, paper. And you say, all right, I'm going to draw a tube of paint. Let's try a tube of paint. So here's my tube of paint. I'm going to set it across on the table right next to me. And I'm going to draw it and say, okay, tube of paint, let me draw this. Okay, let me see now. I see a little bit of an oval here, like that. Okay, so I start off with an oval. That's the cap. Then the cap is over here. It's got a little bit of an angle like this, like that. Then it goes out like this, and it flares out. And it goes around like that. Then it goes this way and it flares out like that. Oh, look at that. And it goes like that. And it goes like this down like so. Then we have the very tippy end of it like that. And that's your tube of paint. Look at that. How wonderful. Maybe we can add some details to it. Let's do a little bit of the details. These are some of the striations around the cap of the watercolor tube. And there's a little bit of a detail to the cap, like so. Now we can use our pencil. So we have a pen and a pencil. If you want to do some shadowing, you can add in some shadowing. If you don't want to do shadowing, just leave it pen and that's it. You don't have to do any more. Okay, that's the shadowing. There's some more shadow in here, over here like this. And if I look at this, this is a little darker, like that. Now we have a little bit of a shadow this way over here. This is good to practice light and shadow if you can. Okay, you look at your shadows carefully. Take a look at your shadows. See where your shadows are on your drawing. So once you do your drawing, then you're looking at the shadows and saying, where do I see the shadows? Okay, I see the shadows over here on the top of the cap. And I see the shadows here, and I have that filled in. And there's the darker color of the paint tube, where the color is up here. And this looks like a little darker here. So this is a little darker. This is a little lighter over here. Then there's a shadow underneath it. Let's take a look at that and say, okay, where's the shadow? Shadow's here. Like that. So you can practice your shadows, like so. So you're just being very careful and saying, all right, let me carefully look at my drawing and see if I can add in some shadows. It's darker here, under there, like so. Like that. And that looks pretty good. And then you can also go in and say, all right, let me do some details. So you can do the color, name of the color tube. That's HWC, Holbein water colors. And then you can just pretend you're drawing some fine here is lavender. That's the color, lavender. So that's large. Lavender is large in this here, if we can look at this like so. So that's lavender. You can kind of see that's kind of large there. Lavender. So I made lavender large, and you can see that. I drew that there. And then there's some more writing underneath it, but we can't really see it. It's kind of very, very small. Maybe some other small writing under there. Then there's some small writing over here. And that's all we have to do, and then we're good. And there we have it. Okay, so that's 3 days of drawing. 2 to 3 days of drawing. Let's say one day you do your brush, a watercolor brush. Day 2, you do your, so here we say day 2, we're doing watercolor tube. Watercolor tube of paint. Maybe we put down 10/23, 2021. Maybe you sign it, put your signature on there. And that's it. That's your painting for, your drawing and sketch for the day. Then you're going to go and do another one the next day. Monday, Tuesday, now Wednesday. Wednesday, what are we going to do Wednesday? Well, let's take a look around. Let's see, what can we do next here? Let's do another paintbrush. We'll do a larger paintbrush. This one here, we'll do a larger watercolor brush. So let's set this across from us. Okay, we just do a nice, we'll do a little rectangle around our paper here. And let's just draw our So we're going to do a larger brush here. And then we're going to do the, like that. There we go. That's all we have to do. Okay, day 3. We did a brush here. We did another watercolor brush, a larger watercolor brush. We did the hairs. We did the metal ferrule here. We could do a couple little rings there for the rings on the ferrule. And then the wood handle painted. Then we take we use a pencil to do some shading here. Let's do some shading. This is very dark here, so let's color that in dark. Like so. And then we have the shadow, like so. Shadow underneath. There we go. All right, there we go, day 3. Another watercolor brush, here we go. We'll just do large watercolor brush. And we do 10, 24, 21. And we sign it. Like so. There you have it, your 3rd day. And then you just keep going day after day. You do one sketch a day for 10, 15 minutes. If you don't want to, if you haven't purchased a sketchbook yet, well then you just take some printer paper. Just take some simple printer, office printer paper, and just start doing that each day. Once a day, just grab one piece of paper once a day and draw something. A watercolor artist brush, a tube of watercolor paint, maybe a tape, artist tape, some artist tape here. I did that there. Maybe you're going to have a spritzer bottle. You could take a spritzer bottle and draw a spritzer bottle. And the next day you do another brush. You can actually, you know, do repeat things. If you have a fun time doing watercolor brushes, do a watercolor brush, you know, every other day or every 3 days. Do it the way you want to do it. You're the artist. You're just starting out, but you're going to make things fun for yourself and try to do things that are easy for yourself. You're not going to try to draw something really sophisticated and difficult that's going to make you like feel, you know, defeated or feel down or unpleasant. You want to feel happy. So just grab anything that you see that you want to draw, that you feel like you can accomplish, and do it a decent job of it, and you just draw that. Here we did another watercolor tube of paint. And another brush. We did another watercolor brush here. Okay, so that's the main thing. I'm hoping everybody is going to have a great time practicing your drawing skills. You have to do this every day, 5-10 minutes a day, and then it becomes a habit. And after you do it 2, 3, 4 weeks, 5 weeks, 6 weeks, then after a while, after a month or 2, you're just doing this every day. You're just grabbing your sketchbook every day. It'll just be a habit. It'll just be like, you know, like grabbing a cup of coffee or a cup of tea or a glass of water. You're just going to do it, and it's going to be a habit. But you have to really start and just consistently do it, you know, for the first 6 weeks or so, 4 to 6 weeks. After that, it'll become natural. You'll just do it. It'll be just simple. And then you just do something different. Do a couple of the same things. If you want to just do nothing but watercolor brushes, do nothing but painting watercolor brushes and pencils. Maybe you're going to take watercolor brushes and pencils and make that your main thing you're going to draw. So you're just going to draw maybe watercolors and pencils. You'll set a pencil across from you on the table. Set it across from the table. You draw a pencil. You draw a paintbrush. Maybe you draw a tube of paint. And then you go back and you start again. And the next day you're going to do again a tube of paint. You'll do a spritzer bottle. You'll do another paintbrush. And you just keep repeating the same things over and over and over. And then after you get these going and really doing well at these specific subject matter, paintbrushes, tubes of paint, spritzer bottle, roll of tape. Once you're doing these every day, over and over and over, then you start adding in. I'm going to do an apple next. Then you put in an apple. You try an apple, then an orange. Keep doing those over and over, and you just keep building upon that. Next thing you know, a month goes by, you've got a ton of new drawings in your sketchbook or on your paper, on your printer paper, and you're all set. You have the habit, you're drawing every day, you're building your drawing skills. You have to have those. As a watercolor artist, you need to be practicing your drawing skills, and believe me, you'll be so much happier when you can draw effectively. That's going to be a key thing for you, and anyone can do it. It's just a matter of every day doing those practice drawings every day. 5 to 10 minutes a day is all you need, and that's really simple. 5 to 10 minutes a day, everyone can find that little bit of time to just do one simple drawing every day. Okay, so I hope this is encouraging to you. I hope you're excited. This is all it is. A little bit of drawing every day will go so far for you. You just have to do it every day, and it'll be a habit. It'll be easier. Once you do it 6 to 8 weeks, you've got it. You'll be doing it all the time, and you'll be on your way to doing beautiful drawings. And then eventually, you'll be anything you draw, you'll have no problem. You'll be able to render it with not an issue whatsoever. So I hope you'll join along with me each week here on my channel. And we'll draw together, and we'll get all of our skills going and in a great direction, and we'll be having fun too at the same time. So everybody, thanks again for coming by, and this is again another video we're doing in the Extreme Beginners, so that I can encourage everyone to please keep your drawings going once a day, and you'll be really excited, happy, and you'll have that habit going forward. You won't have to worry about not following through, because after 4 to 6 weeks of doing your daily drawings, you'll have it as a habit. It'll just be second nature, just like grabbing a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, a soda, a drink of water. It'll be just like that, but you just have to make sure you do it that first month or two consistently every day, okay? Trust me on that, and we're going to be back in just a few days or so to do more videos for you, Extreme Beginners. Well, see you in just a few. Bye-bye.